Nothing that I do or feel ever feels like I felt it with you. Hurting deep inside.
Citi 97.3. Citi 97.3. More variety.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Citi Prime News live from our studio at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. My name is Ajuatin Krama here with
Charles Owusukumi.
Coming up, heavy police presence at Accra High Court in Accra as they prepare to deliver final judgment on high treason case involving ACP Benjamin Agozo and others today. We'll be live in the court to give you the latest. Also coming up, NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahamali's party supporters on a walk to sensitize Ghanaians on 24-hour economy policy. Still ahead, after a demotivating performance at the 2023 AFCON, Ghana Football Association sacks Black Stars head coach Chris Hughton and dissolves technical team.
It's all of us. We have to make sure we go back to basics, The FA will do their part, the coaches, the technical team, the supporters. We all have to do our part. We all have to do, because when it doesn't go well for us, it's not us alone. It's not the FA alone. It's all of us.
And later, as the world marks International Day of Education today, we'll tell you how financial constraint is threatening the dreams of some junior high school graduates despite the government's free senior high school policy.
Have you given up yet?
No.
Not giving up. You still want to go to school?
That one is concerned my mother. I don't know that if I have money, if I inform me, you will let me go or not.
But do you want to go to school?
Yeah, I want to continue, but there's no money.
The news is live on Facebook on Citi 97.3 FM, also live on all our partner stations across the country. In the Western region, find us on Adrimpa 100.7 FM in Takwa, Beach 105.5 FM in Takoradi. In Bunu region, we're on Greener 95.9 FM. In Sunyai, in the Ashanti region, find us on Adrimpa 99.9 FM. At Nkawie, Volta region, we are on Heritage 107.3 FM. Hohoi, Freedom 88.1 FM. Sugakope, on Radio Gaki 88.3 FM in Saboba. Find us in the Northern region. Also in the Upper East region, we're on Quality 88.7 FM in Garo and Nobia FM 98.1 FM in the Northeast region, Nalerigo. Please stay for details of our stories.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
A very warm welcome to you. We begin from Winchi, and the traditional council in the Bunu region has given a 7-day ultimatum to herdsmen in the area to remove their cattle. This follows recent complaints by crop farmers and residents about the destruction of farms by cattle belonging to the herdsmen. The council, together with the chiefs, municipal assembly, police service, and other authorities, are working to enforce the ultimatum. But in an interview with Citi News, paramount chief of the Winchi traditional area, Nana Anye Amampong Tabrako III, expressed concern over the issue.
During the dry season, they bring the cattle in. And as a result of them coming, they destroy farms and the crops around. That's the main issue. It's not about the people, about the cattle they bring into Winchi. It's not something I'm going to allow this year around. During my reign, I won't allow, because they destroy the crops of the farmland. Winchi is a farming area. That's what our people mostly depend on. And mostly we boast of cashew, and this cashew, they just chew. They don't chew, they swallow the cashew. And that's one thing we boast of as a town. So if this cattle come around and destroy our cashew, what are we going to boast of? Most of the farmers also have ways, so we'll go so that it doesn't affect anyone. Because we know how Fulani herdsmen behave in Ghana. They value the cow more than human beings. So we have to have a plan or a way to prevent them from entering, which wouldn't cost anything to anyone or any soul.
You heard Nana Anye Amampon Tabrako III. He is the paramount chief of the Wenchi traditional area. Now let's go to the courts because a 3-member panel hearing the High Court treason case involving ACP Benjamin Agozo is expected to deliver judgment later today. ACP Benjamin Agozo, late Dr. Mark Palm, and 8 others were arraigned in 2021 on charges of conspiracy to commit high treason and high treason. Arrested in 2019 after a police swoop at the Citadel Hospital, the accused were implicated in a plot to destabilize the country. The state presented 13 witnesses and video evidence during the trial. The accused may, among other sentences, face the death penalty if found guilty. Let's now speak with our head of current affairs production here at Citi FM, Citi TV, Fred Tete Jabano, on what's been happening. Fred, bring us up to speed on how far this case has traveled.
Yes, so Adjoa, I remember somewhere in 2019, at the time I was a court correspondent when the news broke in the morning that in the evening, that the police had gone to the Citadel Hospital and had arrested Dr. Fred McPalm, who's passed away now. And there was one gentleman with him at the time, Bright Alan Debra. And what we were told at the time was that there was a plot to undertake a coup d'etat. So the next morning, we had to go following up on this case, and then things started unraveling. We were told that these people had met several times. They were part of a group of people who were found on one WhatsApp group. And that WhatsApp group, initially, their intent was to go bring development to areas which were underprivileged. So as the group was going on, there was another group.
You mean that's what they explained the intent
at the beginning, yes. That's right. The intent of the WhatsApp group, right, which was formed, was to help Dr. Freddie McPalm to go on health, go and give help to people who needed these help in areas, underserved areas. In the course of this thing, we were told, according to the police at the time, that there was another group formed, and this group was intent to go and commit or go and undertake a coup to topple the government. It was quite interesting because at the time, nobody was sure a doctor could do that. And when the case started progressing from 2019, another group of people were added, or other accused persons were brought into this matter. And one popular policeman, a senior police officer, was introduced into this case, ACP Benjamin Agozo. He was also told, we were told at the time, that he was also part of the group planning the coup. There were other people in this case, another senior officer, military officer. We had Colonel Samuel Kojo Gameli, who was also said to be part of the main people who were plotting the coup alongside Dr. Freddie McPalm. And as you read, as the case progressed, it started at the district court. From the district court, it was sent to the High Court. A number of bail applications were made on behalf of the accused persons. For the longest of time, these bail applications were dismissed. Eventually, Freddie McPalm and some of the other accused persons were granted bail by the court. It took a while for them to be able to meet the court's the bail conditions, and they were let go. There was one woman who was also part of this particular case, Esther Sana Dankowini. She was also a military officer. She was the first person to have been granted a bail. The reasons for granting her the bail at the time was that she had a little child she had to take care of. She was granted the bail, but she couldn't meet the bail conditions. For a number of years, she couldn't meet the bail conditions. The case progressed to the High Court. There was a 3-member panel of judges which was set up to deal with this case because it was a case of treason. And with treason, you need these 3 judges to sit on at the High Court. The case progressed. The state brought a number of witnesses and brought evidence to push their case that indeed these people were plotting a coup and were also planning to topple the government at the time. As part of the evidence they brought, there was a video where some of these accused persons were seen shooting at the Teshi shooting range, learning how to use arms. This was quite interesting in court when the video was brought. The lawyers for the accused persons challenged this video, challenged a lot of the evidence brought by the court. The main accused person in the case, Freddie McPalm, in the course of the case somewhere last year, passed away during the hearing of the case. And this case started in 2019 and we are in 2024. So it should tell you how long this case has spanned for.
4 years now.
About 4 years. Freddie McPalm died. There were questions around whether the case could still stand whilst the main accused person in the case had passed away. But yes, the case went on, and today we are expected to have a judgment at the High Court. And before this judgment, when you go to the High Court now, from what our reporters tell us, there's heavy police presence there.
Exactly.
Armed policemen. The court is full. And anytime these people were coming to court, you'd also see the presence of heavy armed policemen. So it's not surprising that today we have heavy police presence there, because the fear was that maybe you don't know where the connection would come from.
Exactly.
Something might happen during the hearing of the case. So that's what explains the heavy police presence and the courts being full. Some of what we are expecting to hear from the courts is whether these people will be found guilty or not guilty. And with treason, there are a number of sentences which could possibly come up, and one is a death sentence if you are found guilty. Depending on what the judge wants, you may be found guilty and sentenced to death. That's the highest sentence for treason. We are not sure how the court would go, but we are told that in some few minutes, the judge would deliver the judges would deliver their ruling and would know the way forward.
We do know that the death sentence has become an issue in
Yes.
Ghana since we've already abolished the death
As we
sentence.
speak now, the president hasn't
not
assented to the bill,
yet.
so that particular law is still in our books.
So it can happen
It
that
can
they
happen,
can be-
but what it is that for a number of years now, we haven't really executed anybody. So
Right.
people have been sentenced to death, but they have not been executed.
Right.
So we don't know how the judges would handle this particular case. As I said, that's the highest sentence you can get. The judge may decide to give them custodial sentences. We cannot tell. That's lies in the bosom of the judges.
But for treason, there's no lenient sentence that they can possibly get out of after today.
It's all a decision by the judges,
Right.
to decide what kind of sentences, and that is only when they are found guilty. It is possible that they will not be found guilty, so they will be only sentenced if they are found guilty. As we speak now, we cannot sit here and pass a judgment on them whether they are guilty or not. That power lies in the hands of the judges. So we are waiting to hear what the court would pronounce on this particular case.
Most definitely. Thank you so much, Fred Tete Jabano, the head of our political desk here at Citi FM Citi TV. So you have heard all about the court case that the court is given its final ruling in the case involving ACP Benjamin Agozo and some others who have been found to have committed or suspected to have committed treason. So we'll do some other stories now. We'll take you to the Ashanti region. Right. So Charles, you have some other stories before I take you to the Ashanti region, right?
Yes, I have some stories on education. Concerns have been raised by stakeholders in the education sector regarding the surge in abandoned projects within colleges of education nationwide. Civil society organizations highlight that despite the allocation of 480 million Ghana cedis for constructing 300-bed capacity hostels across all 45 colleges of education. Only 3 were under construction by the year-end 2023. The remaining projects have come to a standstill due to funding shortages. Citi News' Ni Ayukwilkan provides further details in this report.
A review of Ghana's education sector by the Africa Education Watch, EduWatch, Institute for Education Studies, IFEST, and over 50 civil society organizations in the sector reveals that despite the announcement of 480 million Ghana cedis for the construction of a 300-bed capacity hostels in 2023 in all colleges of education, only 3 had construction works ongoing, with the remaining stalled due to the lack of funding. The CSOs bemoan that the situation has contributed to an imposition of 30% cut in admissions in colleges of education, reducing the intake of students by over 6,000.
That is the sad reality. If you go to our colleges of education, if you go to Gabagaba College of Education, for instance, there's a 350 to 400 bed hostel that has been abandoned for close to 9 or 10 years. It has been roofed, okay? But last 2 years, government gave contracts for a new hostel project. When this one that has already been roofed could have been completed with just a quarter of the money. Government awarded a new contract for a new 300-bed hostel, which has stalled at foundation level. So you go to many of the colleges where these hostel projects have stalled for the past 1.5 years. You will see that there are abandoned hostel projects, some of them up to the rental and roofing level, but they won't continue. So we raise the issue about our college of education gradually becoming a museum of abandoned projects.
The report also suggests that only 39% of WASI candidates were probably progressing to tertiary institutions in the ensuing academic year, suggesting that up to 250,000 secondary school graduates do not make it to tertiary annually. The CSOs say the 50% increase in second cycle enrollment because of free SHS policy makes the situation dire, with negative consequences for youth unemployment.
As a result of free senior high school, the number of graduates who leave our secondary schools have increased. We have increased enrollment in secondary education by 50% as a result of free senior high school. So if you are producing about 450,000 students a year, you can't afford to be doing 40% tertiary transition. The meaning is that you will be producing over 250,000 secondary graduates who will not find anywhere to go. They are going to become unemployed. And in a country where unemployment and youth unemployment, for that matter, is a serious problem, national security threat, you don't want to encourage such numbers. And we are in an era where we are seeing over 60% of students getting passes in the WASI core. Once you get passes in the WASI core, it means that you have about 90% chance of qualifying for university. Why are we not seeing a commensurate increase in the percentage of students going to tertiary? Why are we still at 40? Well, the last time I checked, it was 39. Why are we still at 39 and not 60 or 55? And so we think that the financial access barriers, are key inhibitors for poor children, of children from poor households to access tertiary education, even though they wanted to pass secondary education. So we've called on the government to reposition the student loan scheme, to look also at prospective students.
At the basic school level, it was revealed that over 5,300 schools remain under trees, sheds, and dilapidated structures across the country, with less than 40 new school buildings constructed in 2023 to address the challenge. It is estimated that Ghana would be able to completely eradicate schools under trees in 130 years' time. It adds that over 1 million desks were required by 2022 at the basic school level. That notwithstanding, with the 2023 GET Fund allocation of 15 million Ghana cedis for basic school furniture, only 6 million was released in late 2023, and no DEX was purchased from the 2023 allocation.
We recognize that we still haven't made very good progress in eliminating the schools under trees, sheds, and dilapidated structures. If you recall, 4 years ago, government launched a program in partnership with the Vaco Trust Fund to eliminate all 5,403 schools under trees, sheds, and dilapidated structures. And the plan was to eliminate them in 5 years. We are in year 4 now. And when we did the stock taking last year, and during the review, we realized that less than 40 were replaced, or if you like, completed, were constructed and replaced in that particular year. And it meant that we still had about 5,300 existing schools under trees, sheds, and dilapidated structures to remove, with barely a year to go to the finish line of the government's own plan. And if we reckon the pace that we have been approaching this target since 2021, it meant that it would take Ghana 130 years to remove all schools under trees and sheds. And so we've called for an acceleration of government's efforts to remove schools under trees, and a renewed political commitment to providing funding to implement this particular important intervention.
At the tertiary level, data suggests that at the end of the 2023 academic year, loans owed students by the Student Loan Trust Fund was more than 50 million Ghana cedis due to inadequate funding of the scheme by the government. Thus, the CSO say has limited successful applicants to only 70%, causing undue delays in the payment of approved loans. Indeed, there is no doubt that strides have been made in the education sector. That notwithstanding, stakeholders say there are lots of challenges still battling the education sector that ought to be addressed. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Ni Ayikwe Okain.
We'll still stay on education because think tank Africa Education Watch has reiterated its call on the government to solve the infrastructure deficit within the basic school system. About 2.3 million children are without desk in basic schools. On International Day of Education, the Africa Education Watch wants the government to address the issue. Divine Pe is Senior Programs Officer at EduWatch.
The major challenge at the basic education level, of which is the infrastructure challenge, more especially the debt situation at the basic education level. As of 2022, I'm sure we all know that we have over 1 million debt deficit in our basic school, and we haven't done much in last year as far as the provision of debt is concerned. Last year, from Get Fund, government allocated 15 million Ghana cedis for debt provision. And the challenge is that as of almost the end of the year, no debts have been purchased from that amount. And yet we have a lot of the deficit still in our school. So it's very important that the government actually prioritizes the issue of debts this year and take a serious step in addressing the gap. Otherwise, we'll continue to have a good number of Ghanaian children that will continue to be writing or sitting on the X. We're talking about 2.3 million children that are not having sitting and writing space.
You heard Divine Pehi, Senior Programs Officer at the Africa Education Watch. Now, in a related development, the Ghana Commission for UNESCO has called on teachers to mold peaceful students. A representative of the Ghana Commission for UNESCO, Polonius Asari, addressed an event to mark the International Day of Education in Takoradi.
Our teachers need to identify many effective strategies and practices that can transform schools into places of peace and harmony. We must consider at the national levels where schools will focus on current civics education according to the needs of the country. Education plays an important role in promoting peace. In the classroom, students must learn to respect their teachers and classmates. They must learn to express their opinion and work together to solve problems. Promoting peace education equips the young ones and all of us with the tools to become advocates for change and to act in our local communities and at the global level. We must therefore have a strong foundation for inclusive, democratic, and participatory governance, dialogue, solidarity, mutual understanding, and cooperation, as well as sustainable development, and the general realization of human rights and fundamental freedom.
You had a representative of UNESCO in Ghana, Polinus Asare. We'll take a quick break here, but you're still listening to the Citi Prime News, broadcasting live from our studios in Adabraka, Accra. When we come, we'll talk to you about the NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama leading party supporters on a walk to sensitize Ghanaians on his 24-hour economy policy. Please stay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Hey, Opeyin, what is this I'm hearing about some economic census?
Yes, the Ghana Statistical Service is conducting a nationwide census of all businesses called the Integrated Business Establishment Survey, popularly known as IBES.
A census of businesses? What is that for?
Well, for businesses to grow, they will need data on all business activities for decision-making to enhance their profitability.
Hey, so does it mean my chop bar is part of this exercise?
Of course it is. All businesses, whether for profits or non-profits, are included.
Okay, but won't my personal information be disclosed?
Not at all. Data collected will be kept confidential and used solely for statistical purposes, so your individual information is well protected.
Really? So when is it starting and how can I help?
This exercise will begin in January 2024. Help by giving the right information to the field staff who will be visiting your business.
Remember, support GSS to provide you with the right data for your business growth and national development. 2024 IBES, data for prudent business decisions.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Let's do some politics and take you to the Ashanti region now, where former President John Dramani Mahama is leading hundreds of National Democratic Congress supporters on a walk in Kumasi to sensitize Ghanaians on his proposed 24-hour economy policy. The procession on the principal streets of Kumasi Metropolis ended at the KJTR market, where the NDC flag bearer addressed participants and traders. Mr. Mahama took a swipe at the government for its inability to complete the Kumasi Central Market and other key infrastructure projects in the Ashanti region. He also took time to explain the proposed 24-hour economy policy and emphasized that it will help address Ghana's unemployment challenges.
Ghana 24-hour economy.
The 24-hour economy is not a new initiative. A lot of countries practice it. When we were younger, pharmacies and chemist shops were operating throughout the night. Fuel stations were not closing as well. At what point did all these end? Some shops and offices now close at 5 p.m. Why should the KJTR market be closed down when it can run 24 hours? The next NDC government will put in place measures to ensure shops and offices operate for 24 hours.
You heard John Dramani Mahama, his flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress. Let's stay with the party because the Member of Parliament for Dododiodio, Nilante Vanderpoy, has charged supporters of the party in the constituency to rally behind the newly elected parliamentary candidate for the party to be able to secure the seat in the 2024 general elections. Nilante Vanderpoy had earlier expressed his disappointment with a decision taken by the Functional Executive Committee of the party to disqualify Michael Niyaboy Annan. He asserted that Mr. Annan was the most viable candidate capable of retaining the Ododo seat for the party. However, the NDC parliamentary primary in Ododo produced Ni Ashikote as the candidate. Here's Nilante Vanderpoy speaking to Citi News on the outcome of the Ododo parliamentary primary.
That whether we like it or not, he's being elected. And once he's being elected, it is incumbent upon us to pool resources together, pool our energies together, and support him to win. We can't afford to lose the seat, no matter what. No matter how unhappy we are, how displeased we are, the seat is more important. So we need to pull our resources together, put our energy together, forget about the past, be united, and save the seat. It's going to be very difficult elections, but I'm very sure, I'm very confident we'll in the seat.
What are some of the key things that you would prefer that he would consider for the party to be able to maintain the feat that you've achieved in the area?
He needs to make himself available all the time. the constituency campaign, the constituency demands time and energy. Resources must be mobilized, and he, as a person, needs to develop his communication skills, because with Dodo, you need to be as coherent, you need to be very efficient and very effective in your communication strategy. You must know, because it's a very serious cosmopolitan area, so you need to at least be able to communicate very well in at least 2-3 major dialects in the constituency.
That was Member of Parliament for Dodo Diodio constituency, Ni Lante Vanderpoy. Charles, there's a lot happening with the Black Stars. Isn't there? Talk to us. What's happening in the world?
I've got some news on head coach of the team, Chris Hughton, and he has been sacked as head coach of the national team, the Black Stars, in the wake of their exit from the 2023 AFCON in Côte d'Ivoire. The Black Stars' elimination from the group stage of the AFCON for the second time in a row marks a low point for the four-time African champions, and the Black Stars' poor run has been pinned on the coach. In this report by Citi Sports' Yao Ejeminta, the former Brighton and Hove Albion manager's run with the Black Stars is put under the microscope.
After the promising tenure of stopgap coach Otuado, there was optimism that Ghana had found the ideal leader for the Black Stars in Chris Hughton. With an impressive track record at clubs like Newcastle and Nottingham Forest, expectations were high among fans that Hughton would bring the desired changes. Fans anticipated Hughton's commitment to integrating emerging talents like Mohamed Kudus, Bernard Tekpete, and Enes Nyama as key players, possibly sidelining veterans like Andre Ayew. However, the reality played out differently, with Nyama getting minimal playing time and questions arising about the Dayu's impact, particularly in the second half against Mozambique. Hughton's tactical decisions, such as positioning Jordan Ayew as a winger and Ransford Conestoffer as a creative midfielder, faced criticism. Additionally, his failure to bring back estranged players like Jeffrey Schlupp and Abdul Momen raised eyebrows. The 2023 AFCON further exposed challenges under Hughton, with Ghana continuing to concede late goals, a pattern observed even during Otuado's stint. In the 2022 World Cup, Ghana conceded 7 goals in 13 minutes, and in Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana has conceded 6 goals in 3 games, with 4 of them coming in the last 15 minutes. Black Stars legend Mohamed Polo's concerns about Hughton's restrictive tactics ahead of the tournament were validated.
People are enjoying football. Are we enjoying football? Is Ghana enjoying football? No, we have to do something about it. Because I think we have a brand of football. And these younger ones, it's their generation, it's their time. You cannot run away from them. But we have to let them go through the process. We have to teach them what to do. Look at them. Who are teaching them? What do you expect? You think they are talented? No, they are talented. But they need some additional value. They must be taught what to do on the field. The Kudus, they haven't even reached their peak. And we are hoping that they will get there, but it has to start somewhere. And we have to give them that sort of, the push that they need. But today we go and get some coaches who come and they are restricting, them from what they have to do.
Yao Ejeminta of Citi Sports put together that report.
Well, we'll stay with the Black Stars because ex-Black Stars player Yao Preko is urging stakeholders, including the Ghana Football Association, led by Keto Kreko, to have a self-introspection following yet another group stage exit in the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations. Ghana's failure to secure a win in all 3 group games, coupled with surrendering a 2-goal lead against Egypt and Mozambique, has prompted Preko to emphasize the need for a return to basics for future success. In an interview with Citi News, Yao Preko believes sacking Chris Hughton does not address all the challenges faced by the national team.
Of course, nobody. Even him being the FA president doesn't mean, everybody. I'm not excited. I'm not excited with us going out. Talk less of the president of the FA. The pressure will be on him to deliver. But at the end of the day, he gives the job to somebody else, and the person didn't deliver, and you can't blame solo on the FA. It's like coaches are not doing well, and then you attack your CEO, and the players are messing up. You attack the CEO. You know, he can't go. He's limited. It's limited. Like I said, it's all of us. It's all of us. We have to make sure we go back to basics. You know, the FA will do their part. The coaches, the technical team, the supporters. We all have to do our part. We all have to do, because when it doesn't go well for us, it's not us alone. It's not the FA alone. It's all of us. If it's all of us, you know, former players, you know, we are stakeholders, you know, and we all have to check ourselves and see how best we can you know, be part of the development of the new, you know, what we want to do, because it will start from the coach. And what do you want from the youth, the youth coaches, and how do you want the FA to support you for us to achieve our goals?
You heard ex-Blasters player Yao Preko. Now let's go to Abidjan once again and speak to our head of sports here at Citi FM, Citi TV, Benjamin Inketia. Ben, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on the phone. Now, we know that you wish you could have stayed there for long, but you're coming home. Kind courtesy Black Stars. First of all, how is the homecoming coming up? Are all the players coming home today? Have some left already? What is generally happening in terms of the homecoming?
Well, that's actually hilarious. And let me just say a good afternoon to all our listeners. And I definitely would have loved to stay longer. But that's unfortunately our story. Really exists in the last two competitions. Well, what I can say basically is that as far as coming home is concerned, the poor performance of the Black Stars in the competition has meant that there isn't any glorious homecoming. Ideally, if the Black Stars had probably made a finals place or maybe even a semi-finals berth, the whole team would have returned together. But what is happening is that because of the animosity that has greeted the early exit, a lot of the players are leaving individually. Some players, though, will return with the main contingent, but it's hard to tell exactly. I can tell you for a fact that Inaki Williams and Athletic Bilbao is already on his way to Bilbao, probably has arrived already. There's a pretty large contingent of players who belong in France. Talk about the likes of Salisu, Gideon Mensah, Alexander Jiku, Andrea Yu, Ali Duseiru. They will probably move together and go straight from Abidjan. And then you have also quite a number of guys going to other different countries. And so it's pretty fractured as far as the arrival plan is concerned. But like I said, there are quite a number of local players in the team. There are some players who will definitely have to come to Ghana before connecting with their flights back to their various countries. And so that's what's going on as far as the arrival plan itself is concerned. But the players are expected to be in Ghana pretty soon. When you talk about mood in camp, I feel like a lot of the guys were already aware that, having performed so poorly and having exited at the group stage, Chris Hughton was going to get fired. It was inevitable for most of us media men. We knew because his contract actually expires in February. And so I expected that at the press conference, he was probably going to confirm that he was resigning. But resignation would have meant or would have had contractual and also some financial obligations. And so he waited to be sacked by the FA, meaning that the FA now has to pay him some compensation because he's been terminated before the end of his actual contract. And so I would say that the mood in camp generally is reflective of the mood that was on the pitch when the blast of the whistle went for that final game against Mozambique. The players were dejected. They were sad, disappointed, just like all of us generally as Ghanaians.
Now, Ben, I know that Chris Hughton has been sacked. The mood is down everywhere. But just as Yao Preko was saying, the sacking of the coach really, is that the panacea to all the problems the Black Stars is facing?
Not really. This has always been the first line of action, really, when a tournament goes bad, to fire the head coach because you are the leader, so you are the bearer of all responsibility. But really the conversation has gone on and on about where do we begin to reset our football form, because at the last AFCON in Cameroon, Ghana exited in the group stage again without a single win, and it's repeated itself twice. And so a lot of people are calling for an overhaul of the football federation itself. They say that if the leader of the coaching fraternity and technical team has been dissolved and has been sent away, then the FA itself, who are the appointing body, also need to be looked at. And that's what a lot of people are calling for. Ironically, some people have said that, you know what, I mean, I've been talking to colleague journalists, and they have said that they don't mind if the FA itself is changed in terms of leadership of the football structure is changed, but that will always come with implications from FIFA. And again, people have said that they don't care about implications from FIFA. So basically what happens is that if FIFA or if government decides to intervene in football federation matters, you will attract a ban from FIFA, because FIFA likes to separate football issues from politics. But if politics ventures into FIFA, it will mean that we'll get a ban from FIFA. But what that means is that there will be probably some form of normalization, which is what a lot of people are clamoring for, because under this FA, Ghana has not won a single AFCON game. And that is absolutely atrocious. And so a lot of people are calling for a holistic overhaul instead of just firing the head coach and relieving the technical staff of their duties, remove the FA president and all the adjoining legs of the FA, and let's begin a rebuild all over again. Some people have even said that the squad itself needs to be overhauled, i.e. Veteran players in the mix need to retire or need to reach a phase where they are not called up to the national team again. Let's make this a rebuild where the young faces of the team are given priority. So NS Biama, for instance, going into the competition was touted as one of Ghana's brightest prospects alongside a guy like Mohamed Kudus. But ironically, NS Biama recorded less than 30 minutes of football at the AFCON, which I believe is unpardonable. And so that's where we are at this point. We are at the crossroad. Will we take drastic, radical action, or will it be business as usual? I feel like the next few days will give us some insight into what will happen.
All right, Ben, thank you so much for those updates. We are sorry you have to come home early, but we wish you a safe journey back home. That's it for the Black Stars. Benjamin Nketia is the head of sports here at Citi FM, Citi TV, speaking to us all the way from Abidjan. But let's go to Kumasi now, away from sports, and do some rather disturbing development. And 8 wooden structures used for domestic and commercial purposes at North Suntreso near the Bantama Baptist Church in Kumasi have been destroyed following a fire outbreak on Wednesday dawn. The fire also caused the destruction of several personal belongings such as television sets and fridges. The early intervention of officers of the Ghana National Fire Service prevented the situation from escalating as more tenders were brought in to help it put it under control. Now, the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service in the Ashanti region, DO3, Peter Adai, has been speaking to Citi News on the development.
This dawn, we had a distress call reporting a fire at North Suntreso opposite Bantama Baptist Church. We quickly dispatched our tender at Konfuanochi, and when they got there, the fire was well alight. The fire involved 8 wooden structures used for domestic and commercial purposes. Because of the nature of the fire, they had to quickly call in more tenders to come in. So we used about 3 fire tenders to be able to put the fire under control and totally extinguish it. There were no casualties, but items like personal belongings, television sets, fridge, and other stuff were affected by the fire. As we speak, the investigations are underway to establish what caused the fire. So as at now, it is under investigations.
Fire officers suspect illegal electricity connection for the inferno. Due to this, DO3 Peter Dai cautioned the public against such practices.
We want to advise that since we are still in the Harmattan period. Temperatures, everything is dry, so we have to be careful the way we go about our business, how we use electricity and electrical devices. We should be careful how we use them. If you want to do any electrical connection, try as much as possible to contact ECG and let them do a genuine connection for you, so that we will not have any issues. Don't consult any quack electrician to come and do your electrical connections for you. Ensure you get competent, certified electricians to do your work for you. With this particular one, we had to call on ECG to isolate the power. It took some time. For ECG to isolate the whole area. Because when we were able to isolate the section where the fire was, just the place the fire had engulfed at the time of the incident, we still saw that there were illegal connections that were hampering the firefighting process.
That was Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service, India Ashanti Region, DO3, Peter Ada. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News. Still ahead, financial constraint threatens the dream of some junior high school graduates despite the government's free senior high school policy. We'll tell you more. Please stay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Unleash the stadium experience in your home from January 12th to the last day of the tournament. Ignite your African Cup of Nations with incredible deals on Hisense TVs, Amcon TVs, and sound system. It's the Hisense AFCON double promo. Witness every electrifying play on the stunning picture quality of Hisense and Amcon TVs. Feel the crowd roar and the crisp commentary.
Well, it's gone in.
Through our state-of-the-art sound systems. Visit any Hisense showroom nationwide and get unbelievable discounted prices. With Hisense, you enjoy peace of mind with up to 5-year manufacturer defect warranty on your TV purchase. Gather your friends and family. Immerse yourself in the AFCON atmosphere and cheer for your teams with Hisense. Don't miss out though. Hisense. Everyday prices for extraordinary football moments. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you find yourself going through the pain of sore throat, nasal congestion, and need quick relief?
Yes, my throat hurts so much and I'm unable to swallow or talk that much.
Or do you take the same old lozenges without getting the relief you seek? A friend of mine introduced me to this old lozenges, but the pain in my throat is not getting any better. Worry no more. Lozati lozenges, a 100% natural and refreshing throat lozenges with 7 pleasant tasting flavors, is here to help. Lozati lozenges relieves you of nasal congestion, sore throat, soothing the throat, and controls cough severity and frequency. Available in honey and lemon, ginger, peppermint, orange and cola, and 2 sugar-free formulations, propolis and strawberry for those managing their sugar levels. Lozati lozenges for the quick relief you need. Available in all Unicom outlets and pharmacies nationwide. For inquiries, contact Unicom Chemist Limited on 0302-324-595 or 0302-324-383. This advert is FDA approved.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, financial constraints cast a shadow over the educational dreams of junior high school graduates. Despite the government's efforts to offer free senior high school education, some students in Abuasa in the Greater Accra region encounter obstacles in pursuing further studies due to economic challenges. City News' Akosua Ochre explores this issue in a first-hand report from the community.
It's a bright day here at Abuasa in the Greater Accra region, but certainly not a bright future for young people living in this community. This community, we are told, is where extreme poverty lingers. There's no access to electricity. Water continues to be a challenge. And this is where the young people, including the adults, are bearing the brunt. Today on the Citi Newsroom, our focus in this community will be the access to education at the secondary school level. We're told that students who complete junior high schools do not have money to fund their education at the secondary school level, for which reason, at a junior high school, they stay at home to help their parents to engage in farming activities. What's your full name?
Never Ichi.
Ichi. Are you a twin?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. And how long have you been living here?
Since I born.
Since you were born. And how old are you?
21 years.
What makes you happy living in this community?
My father.
Your father. You live with your father?
Yes.
And he makes you happy?
Yes.
Okay, is he around?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. Let's see where you live. So we are actually walking to H's house. Ago. Hello. Daddy, good afternoon. How are you? Great. This is your son, H. How many children do you have?
I have 6 children.
6. And where are they as we speak?
Some of them are home, others are in school, and the rest have gone to work.
Is Eche your firstborn?
Eche is my 4th child.
Into most 6, okay, so this is where they live, a mad house. 6 of them living in it. Why is this area not developed?
This area is actually located in the capital, but we are impoverished.
What work do the indigenes here engage in? Okay, moko farming.
We mainly farm cassava, maize, and pineapple.
Do you make much from farming?
We only make sales on a yearly basis. When we plant, it takes a full year before we can sell and make money. Your work rate usually determines how much money you make.
How much did you make the whole of last year?
To be honest, I made 120 cedis last year.
Wow, 120 cedis.
120.
Yeah, what school did you attend?
Abuasa.
Abuasa, JHS?
Yes.
Okay, so you completed which year?
2023.
2023, okay. What grades did you get, first of all, in the BEC?
23.
You got 23. Is it that you gained admission or you didn't get admission?
I get Achimota.
Achimota?
Yes.
What really is the issue? For which reason you've not been able to pursue that dream of going to senior high school?
Please, man, I really have money.
You don't have money?
Yes.
Eche is not the only one in this situation. Vanessa, how are you?
I'm fine.
Great. You also live in this community?
Yeah, this is my hometown.
How long have you been living here?
Since I was born.
How old are you?
18.
You are 18. Wow. Good afternoon. You're 18 years. Yeah. You've lived here 18 years.
Yeah.
Is it an exciting experience to live in this community?
Yeah.
It is?
Yes.
What makes you think so?
So I was born here, so that hard thing.
Okay. So you've learned to live here.
Yeah.
The thing about this community is that you see a lot of mud houses here with either palm trees at the top, sort of to give it a roofing. And so that's how all the houses here are made. So who do you live with?
My mother.
Your mom. Okay, what about your dad?
He's not around.
He's not around, okay. And how many are you, your siblings?
I have 3 siblings and 2 brothers, including me, making 6.
Making 6? Why? They said this community, everybody should be 6 in number in terms of their siblings. But, I mean, we would also hear from Ebenezer what his situation is in terms of access to education. But, Ebenezer, so this is your house. Okay, great. And who sleeps here?
My mom.
Your mom sleeps here?
Yeah.
The 6 of you sleep here?
Yeah. Oh, 2 of them are around.
Okay. And the rest of the children sleep here?
Yes.
So why are your siblings now?
They went to school.
Okay. When did you complete school?
Last year.
That's 2022.
Yeah.
Okay. And what grades did you get?
19.
You got aggregate 19?
Yeah, I get 19.
Not bad. You feel excited about it? I mean, were you one of the students who topped in your class in terms of grade?
No, I'm the third person.
The third?
Yeah.
So the highest was what?
The highest was 11.
11? Yeah. I'm sure that you've heard about free senior high school students writing their BEC, getting admission to school, and going with excitement. You have not been able to go. What's your situation? For which reason you've not been able to go to school?
I was being a rate fund too, and I asked them with a car. So one of the hand is no more working more.
Wow. So sorry about that.
Oh, don't worry. And I was struggling. And I complained. I said I want to go. He said there's no money. He said one cannot crap. And I understand that it's true. That if you look right, left, there's nobody to help me. So I should get and learn some job and learn so that I can suit the certain future.
Have you given up yet?
No.
You've not given up. You still want to go to school?
That one is concerned my mother. I don't know that if I have money. If I inform me, he will let me go or not.
But do you want to go to school? You want to continue your further education?
Yeah, I want to continue, but there's no money.
But what school did you choose?
I had my school at Abetifi.
Okay. That's in the Eastern region. What course do you want to study?
A technical.
Technical. So vocational and technical. Okay. What do you want to be in future?
I can pages, ETS, I can head police, I will go.
You want to be a police officer?
Yeah.
Wow. By your stature. Okay, your stature is not bad. You want to be, enforcing law and order.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty excited about your aim, wanting to go to school to lessen the burden on your mother. But have you also made any efforts to speak to anyone in your community to help you?
No, because I look around, there's no one to help me.
Parents and community members are distraught and appeal for support for their children.
From Ivan Sapelete, in Abuasan community. Me, I'm executive, I'm a community chairman.
Our children are not able to further their education, and this is a worry to us. So we plead for help because we feel we have been sidelined in everything.
The teachers recognize the potential and determination within their students, and they commend their academic accomplishments.
My name is Philip Edu-Manti. I believe per their results, most of them have performed very well, but because of financial issue, most of them are in the house. I'm talking to you now. Some of the situations are very serious. So I, as a caretaker in Abuasa, I need to intervene. And then by intervening, I sponsor few of them, some in kind and in cash. So I'll be pleading on my knees. Those who are willing to help, we're pleading that you also come in and then help our students for us.
How good do you think their results are?
Their results, some of them had 11, others have 18, 19. So I think where they are situated with this grade is good to help these young ones so that they can pursue higher education.
The future of these school-going children here at Abuasa depends on a helping hand. The teachers of these junior high school graduates have attested to their brilliance and says there's hope once they're given the education that they deserve. They want helping hands to come to their aid. Reporting from Abuasa here in the Domiabra Obom constituency here in the Greater Accra region, I am Akosi Altre for Citi News.
And in the studio, my name is Ajwa Tenkrama Domina here with
Charles Owuzukumi.
That's our package for this afternoon on the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio at Adabraka in Accra. Thank you so much for keeping us company. But please stay tuned because the afternoon's edition of the Citi Business News with Netele Nete Ajaho is up next. For more news, though, log on to citinewsroom.com. Have a good afternoon.
City 97.3. More variety.
The city is alive on 97.3.